Am I the only one that feels like their Iman is extremely low, although you've been trying so hard to increase it by praying more, making more dua, or maybe you're just trying to speak more about Allah Azza wa Jal? This past week, and also the other week, so we can say it's been 2 weeks now, I've been trying to, in a sense, not really battle, but I've kind of realized within myself that my Iman has somehow gone low, but I realize that my Iman has gone low. I don't know if this has ever happened to you guys. I'm pretty sure it's something common. But when your Iman is low and you realize, I feel like it's actually a very good thing. And I think it's a good thing because it means that the shaitan is basically attacking your Iman. When the shaitan has nothing to attack you, so as in it has nowhere to attack you on when it comes to sins you might be committing. Maybe you've recently just stopped doing a sin which was potentially even a major sin, right? And maybe you've just stopped doing it and you've stopped doing it for good, like your intention is stopping to do it for good. And the shaitan knows it cannot deceive you back into that sin, then it will try and attack something greater than that sin. And if there's another thing, then sure, it will go and attack you on that sin, right? But if there's nothing left that the shaitan can attack you on, what else that is extremely precious, that he really doesn't like you for, that he's going to go and attack? It's your Iman. It's your faith in Allah Azza wa Jal. It's your taqwa. It's your ihsan as well. And so, if I'm being honest, I feel like I've been attacked, and also in a very strong way. I'm not saying that I'm 50-50 on leaving Islam or not. Alhamdulillah, I still feel like Islam is actually the truth, and inshallah, I will keep on thinking that way, right? But I do feel as if I've had many more doubts than I've ever had in my life being a Muslim. Like, I've had so many doubts these past few weeks. But the cool thing is this: I have these doubts, I reason these doubts, and I realize, no, Islam is the truth. And then I have these doubts again, the same exact doubts that I've managed to reason through and that I've realized these doubts make no sense. I start rethinking them again and I start doubting my faith again. Do you realize how stupid and nonsensical it is? And that's why I believe personally that I'm being attacked by the shaitan. And I'm sure that if you're clicking this video, I'm pretty sure I think I called it Your Iman is also low or something like that. I don't know. The title's going to be the title, right? But if you clicked on this video, I'm sure that you yourself feel like you've had so many doubts recently. Maybe it's been more than a week, maybe 2 weeks, just like me. Maybe it's been a month, 2 months, 3 months. Maybe it's been a year. I mean, I don't know you personally, whoever's watching, right? But surely enough, if you're watching this video, you've got a problem with your Iman. And the important thing is this: when your Iman is low, in my opinion, you're always looking for a sign. You may have done the dua, right, where you ask Allah to grant you a sign, not a son, inshallah in the future, but not right now. But going back to what I was saying, you may be asking Allah to grant you a sign, right, so that He can strengthen your Iman, your faith. And then you get no sign. And so then you start doubting, oh no, I didn't get any sign because obviously these are not my actual words, right? But the thought process is you don't get a sign and now you think Islam is false. But the crazy thing is this, that first of all, Allah's testing you. He's always testing you, and He doesn't need to give you a sign. He's given you plenty already. Why do you need another sign, right? And second of all, the big sign is the fact that He hasn't given you one, and then you're constantly in doubt. The reason why it's a sign, it's because it's a clear sign, clear proof that something is against you. There's something that doesn't want you to be on the path of Allah, on the path of Islam. And that is without a doubt the shaitan. And so if you're looking for a sign, you're looking for a way to damn, if only I had something that could prove to me with 99% certainty that Islam is the truth, I'd have it now. Well, you actually have it already. It's the doubts that you've got in your mind. It's the doubts that you are having that the shaitan is whispering in your ear, right? That are the clear sign that you're looking for. And so to me, if I'm being honest, kind of to tell myself, right? If I were to give myself some advice in this situation, is to realize that we all have periods where your Iman is up here and another period where your Iman is down here. We've all got these periods, right? And so in the period where your Iman is low and you don't feel as connected to Allah as you previously felt connected, right? The important thing is that you realize that you're in this situation, because once you do, then you're going to try your best by praying more, making more dua, talking more about Islam in general. You're going to do as much as you can to get that connection that you once had, right? And once you have it, then you can go back to being in that position, of high Iman, of high taqwa, right? And in my last video I also said how being around here in nature increases me in taqwa. As in, if I look around and I look at what's in front of me, it's literally the creation of Allah Azza wa Jal. If you look at a building, it can't really remind you of Islam, it can't really remind you of Allah. But I'm pretty sure, like, I picked up a leaf in that video because I think it's a thumbnail, right? If you just pick up a leaf, right, and you look at it, it can't not remind you of Allah, because you can potentially stay there and look at that leaf for minutes, hours potentially, and if you had the strength for it, even days, right? And you'll never stop looking at the leaf, trying to look more at it and trying to understand more of it. Like, I'll give you an example, right? And in my opinion, it's a great way to increase your Iman. It wasn't this leaf, but it was a very similar leaf, right? I'll show you here. But it was a red leaf. Potentially just looking at this leaf. I mean, I'll be honest, I really could stay here for hours looking at how this leaf is made. It is just incredible, and it may seem like a psychopathic thing to do. I mean, I'm not sure. I may seem mad, right? But I'm increasing myself in my Iman by doing that. I mean, I'm increasing myself, excuse me. Allah is increasing my Iman by me looking at this leaf, right? Allah has signs everywhere. Stop looking for that sign in that certain place, or that for that particular sign to happen when you ask for it. You've got signs everywhere. There's a famous ayah in the Quran where it says that the people of reason, the people who are really honest and are seeking for the truth, and just looking at the creation, will see signs everywhere. The creation itself is a sign that there is a creator. There's no doubt about it. The more you study it, the more you look at it, the more you try to research about it, the more it gets you closer to Allah. There's no wonder the golden ages of Islam, where they were basically our dear brothers and sisters in Islam at that time, obviously, one of the greatest generations ever, right? They were researching right, left, and center, basically. We've got algebra that came out of the Islamic Golden Age. We've got algorithms that came out from the Islamic Golden Age. We've got astronomy that came out of the Islamic Golden Age. We've got so many things that improved so much from the Muslims in that Golden Age, basically. And it's no wonder that they had also one of the strongest Imans. Although obviously we cannot really quantify their Iman, we know they had very strong Iman because they had one of the best characters. There's so many documents that you can read, historical documents that you can read about how those Muslims had just one of the best characters. And some tribes even that were being oppressed by other empires actually wanted the Muslims in the Golden Age to conquer their land so that they could be free. That's how good they were. But their Iman wasn't just strong because they were part of the best generation. They were part of the best generation, and their Iman was so strong because they researched so much about the world. They tried to learn so much about the deen. They weren't sitting on their phone all day long watching YouTube shorts or Instagram Reels or TikTok, right? Like we do. They were actually doing stuff that meant something to them, and they were just putting, in a sense, that which Allah gave them into practice, and that managed to increase their Iman. I don't know if it made sense here, because I'm kind of speaking off what I'm thinking right now. But generally speaking, they had signs everywhere, and they realized that the signs were everywhere. And they didn't just stop there and think, oh, maybe it's just a coincidence. They realized it was a sign, and it increased their Iman. So, I mean, I'm going to end their video here, otherwise it will just be too long of a video, right? But to give you one last piece of advice is realize that the shaitan is basically giving you doubts in your ears. He's whispering stuff in your ears to make you leave Islam, because the last thing he wants you to be is a Muslim. Realize that. And if you're starting to doubt Islam, or you've been doubting Islam, it's probably because the shaitan knows that he cannot make you commit a sin that you previously were committing, but now that you've managed to get rid of. And that is also a sign of strength. That's basically it. I have nothing else to tell you, and maybe this is a sign as well, because I've read the comments, I'm reading the comments, and I know a lot of you say that my videos come at the perfect time, in the right place when you need it. So potentially this video came in the right place, in the right moment when you needed it, when your Iman is low. Inshallah, obviously. That's basically it. One last thing, if you want to save children in Syria, there's a link below where you can donate, even just $1. You can donate to save children in Syria, newborns, by giving like incubators, right? To help them stay alive. And always remember the ayah in the Quran, I mentioned it in my last video, where Allah says that if you were to save one human, it is if you've saved the entirety of humanity, right? So always remember to give charity, and don't underestimate the power of charity, as nobody's gone broke by being charitable. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.